Hey guys, it's the Inspirational Power Hour with your host, Chandra Wise. And listen, you know that we are always elated to be able to talk to great recording artists, to be able to talk about new music. And listen, today is definitely no different. We are talking to a Mississippi native, and she is just such a beautiful person with an incredible voice who always brings such great music. And I'm talking about none other than Miss Laurie Walker Hall. How are you, Laurie?
I'm good, Chandra. How are you?
I am doing well. Listen, so good to talk to you today.
Likewise. So glad to be here.
Listen, Laurie, as I said before, you and I have known each other for a long time, and your musical journey is always so just beautiful to be able to witness. And now that you are back with brand new music, and we're going to talk all about it, super excited about it. But just really quick, can you give everybody just a little bit of a recap, just kind of let everybody know who you are, where you're from, and just a quick recap of how you got started in music?
Yeah, so I am from Jackson, Mississippi, born in New Orleans, but raised particularly in
Okay.
Jackson.
Mhm.
And I actually started my musical journey years ago as an R&B singer. I was actually, writing R&B songs and going in the studio, performing with a lot of, some local rappers. And back in 2004, I got called to ministry and joined a youth ministry for some years to kind of grow in my faith. And then in 2011, decided to go ahead and start working on my own music. And that's where my debut album, or my debut EP came about. It was called Free in Him, Excerpts of Life.
I remember that.
That was out a couple of years, and it's been a while since I've released new music, but I'm happy to be back in the
Yeah.
yeah.
Your sound, I believe it's such a signature sound. First of all, how would you describe your sound, and what is the inspiration behind your sound?
My sound, I consider myself, I'm definitely gospel, but it's inspirational, soulful. Some people like to compare me to like neo soul artists because the music is very soulful and inspiring. So yeah, it's more like it has undertones of R&B because that's where I started, but the message is definitely faith-based and Christ-centered.
Gotcha.
But the groove is a little, it's soulful.
You can buy, listen,
not your traditional gospel, which I love.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Your music is, it's a vibe. It's definitely, it's a good time, great messages. And you're such a gifted writer, your ability to just be able to express in such a unique and authentic way. So let's talk about this album. I got a chance to listen to it. The entire thing is absolutely beautiful. I think I shared that with you, and it's so beautiful. But tell us a little bit. Let's talk about now Growth Spurts. Tell us about that.
So Growth Spurts was the very first track that I wrote to. I have to give a little shout out to my husband because he's the reason why I came back to do music. It's been over a decade, literally a decade and 2 years since I released music. And I honestly didn't think I would actually do another project because life be lifing. And I went through, some pretty turbulent times that made me question whether I needed to come back to music. And I witnessed him working on his very first project at the house. And I'm on one side of the room working, doing my 9 to 5. And he's on the right side producing and writing and recording. And I got the itch. And I'm looking at him like, I think I want to do that again. I got the itch. And he's like, well, babe, if it's in your heart, if you feel like God is giving you that nudge, go for it. So I reached out to a good friend of mine who does most of the production work for me. He produces most of the tracks that I write to. Mike Burton. I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, I think I'm ready to create again. And he was like, all right, well, let me send you some stuff. And so he sent me, a number of tracks that I could write to. And Growth Spurts was the very first song that I feel like God gave me. I really do feel like I take dictation. I know people say you're a great writer, but I'm like, I pray before I write. And I ask him to just whatever he wants me to say, whatever he wants me to convey, like, put it, drop it in my spirit, in my mind. And the song just came to me so quickly. And it resonates with my experience, but so many other people's experiences with falling down. The lyrics say, life happens, life hurts. We call them growth spurts. I call it that. Even though we may not know the meaning, it works together for the good of those who love them. We stumble, we fall, some great and some small. As long as you don't hit the ground and stay there, he said, get back up again. You will soon get there. And that resonates with, I needed that at that time. God was saying, you're not done. I've got more in store for you. I've got more music for you to create for yourself and for others. And that's how the song was birthed. It was the very first song I wrote for the album. And he's just been kind of giving me guidance along the way, all right, so you finish this song, here's the next one. And then we ended up with a full album. Growth Spurts was that very first song that I wrote to go towards this upcoming album. I just want you all to know that life is gonna life happens, and sometimes it doesn't feel good, sometimes it's gonna hurt. We can't get away from that. It's inevitable. But you just got to know that even though life may try to knock you down, you can't stay there. You got to get back up. You got to keep moving. And God is going to show you just how powerful he is. You're going to see on the other side of that, you're going to see that there's restoration, there's peace, there's strength, there's purpose. There's so much God wants to do in your life. Don't stay down. You got to get back up and let him show you what the next step is. And God will take you through that whole thing. He'll walk you through it, and you'll be better for it on the other side.
Awesome. Before we go, let everybody know how they can keep up with you, how they can follow you.
Yeah, so you can follow me on all social media networks under Laurie Walker Hall. That's on Facebook, that's on TikTok, that's on Instagram. All of those major platforms, you can find me.
All right. Listen, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We are so excited about this new music and excited, that you are still bringing us such great creative moments. And we just can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys, it's the Inspirational Power Hour.